redo this. We gotta redo this.
Dude,
I
no.
lost it. I looked over. I can't deal with this.
Welcome to Fluent Grace, a podcast for students about speaking the gospel into the everyday, ordinary stuff of life. You've got questions, we've got answers. Or at least we will search the scriptures and see how the gospel of grace should inform a response to the questions you have. We love Jesus and we love students, and we hope students will grow to love Jesus more as they encounter Jesus' amazing love for them. Our music for the show is Felix Kolpa by King's Kaleidoscope. What is up? This is Tim Wilson. Welcome to Fluent Grace Podcast, here along with my buddy. Who's number two? Y'all were arguing about this earlier. My buddy Colin over here, the red microphone. My somehow related cousin person thing in the sweet tea trucker hat, Tyler. What's happening? Wait, how are we related, by the way? What are we called?
We're cousins-in-law.
Cousins-in-law. That sounds weird.
We just made that up.
That sounds weird. All right, so my cousin-in-law, Tyler, is here with us. My buddy Colin. How y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Beautiful.
Never been better.
Never better. Best day of your life?
Not quite, but best work day of my life.
All right, I hear you. So this is a historic day for us, a historic day for the world, actually. It's the first time the world has gotten to hear a Fluent Grace podcast.
Y'all didn't get the rough edits.
No.
We're holding those back. Those are filed deep away. You'll never get to hear those.
Those are the ones that we'll break out when we're all rolling in our wheelchairs in the nursing home. You know, and the little old ladies and little old men are asking what we did in our younger days.
We did podcasts.
Or we chatted a little bit. Anyway, yeah, this is Fluent Grace Podcast. Excited to be coming live here, day number 1. Hopefully this is the first of many. Our goal is about, 6,000? Something like that?
At least.
Tyler says he's dipping out after at least 4,000.
Something like that.
Oh,
Contract might need to get extended.
yeah. Hey, which brings up a question.
I'm a
Should we
free
start writing contracts?
I'm a free agent. You better sign me now.
Dang. All right, so we'll get on that. Kind of like a, what do you call those things? Never mind. We're already derailed, so Fluent Grace, that's where we're at. That's where we're talking. What is it? What's it for? Why are we doing this? I know those are all questions that you guys want to hear, so we will hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so fly through some of that. First off, I guess real quick, by way of introduction, my name is Tim Wilson. I'm a youth pastor in Tuscaloosa. I've been doing it for 3 years or so. Love it. Love Jesus. Love students. Put those two together, and you've got a pretty great little occupation going right there.
That was a good intro, Tim.
That was.
I thought I nailed it. I thought I
thought
nailed
you
it.
Nailed it. Well, I am Colin Sherrill. I am a physical therapy aide here at the local hospital, but I'm in school to be a physical therapy assistant. And I help out here at Grace Church, help Tim take care of these youthers. And he asked me to come be on a podcast, so here I am.
Thanks for being here, Colin. This is the first day of the rest of your life.
My name is Tyler Lafoy, also known as Lafoy in France, if you want to call it the French.
Wait, you're
Lafoy.
French?
It is.
Wait,
100%
you're French. Not your name, but you're French.
Absolutely.
Dang,
No.
cousin.
American. I'm not American. I'm straight American. Anyways, I am a former student pastor at Safe Haven Church here in town. Did that for the last 6 years. Love students, love student ministry, love to see students understand the gospel and get serious about who Jesus is. So I love to see that. I currently serve as the equipping pastor there, equipping our community groups and our leaders to shepherd others. So I shepherd leaders so they can shepherd others. So that's kind of my new role. But I am stoked to be on this podcast to talk about Jesus, to talk about student ministry, and to be emotional support for Tim and Colin.
I'm glad you throw in the support because I thought you were about to say I was here to be emotional.
Oh.
At which point,
I don't know how to deal with my emotions.
I was going to question everything once again.
What's the Anchorman line? I'm in a glass case of emotion.
That's Tyler. Tyler, everybody, welcome to the podcast. So that's a little bit about us. We do not take ourselves too seriously, although that whole community group speech sounded pretty serious. But anyway, it's good.
Don't let that fool you.
Yeah, don't let it fool you. Tyler's currently sitting here with his shoes off in the church building, kicked up, just enjoying life. So he's not as stuffy as he may sound sometimes.
That's right.
With his French name and his community group.
La foi.
So anyway, I was talking to somebody the other day about podcasts and what you should do on a podcast. Because again, this is our first one, and we don't have any idea what we're doing. Really, we're just kind of making it up as we go.
Literally.
Yeah, quite literally, right?
No
we
script.
couldn't even figure out how to get the microphones connected like 20 minutes ago. So the fact that you can hear us all right now is a gift of the Lord himself, because we were struggling. Anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that. Oh, I was talking to somebody the other day. That's what it was. And I was asking them, hey, what makes a good podcast? And one of the things they said was, don't take yourself too seriously. So anyway, that should be like the tagline of our podcast. We don't take ourselves too seriously, which is why we got Colin on here.
You better believe it. They were making fun of my Bitmoji on the actual picture of Fluent.
That was horrible.
Dude, it looked like I had a rectangle head.
I got a big head, though.
The part that I don't know if you say concerned me or what, it looked like he peeled a clementine and like stuck it all over his face.
Oh.
That's the part that killed me.
See, Tim, I was also talking to somebody about, podcast, and they said the thing that keeps them coming back for podcast is the suspense. So I'm going to drop this, that I'm going to update the Bitmoji, so y'all just be ready. And it's going to drop.
No more Donald Trump Lego. Donald Trump Lego Bitmoji.
But y'all go check it out on our Facebook page.
There you go. Like the little subtle hint there, we do have a Facebook page, Fluent Grace Podcast. Check it out. Search for it. We also have the Twitter at Fluent Grace Podcast. Dude, it's like Lego Donald Trump in a jogging suit.
No.
With clementine hair.
Oh, I love it.
How about that? So anyway, check out the socials. You get to see Colin's Bitmoji, and if you come back in,
That is not an accurate description of what he looks like to his advantage.
Yeah. That way y'all can't, track me down by my Bitmoji. The other two guys, that's pretty accurate.
yeah, not bad. If we were ranking them, whose looks the most like them? I'm gonna go Tyler.
Well, see, I couldn't figure out the difference between Tyler and Tim's Bitmojis. They both look so similar. So.
Yeah, but his looks French.
It does. I should put my Bitmoji in a French shirt.
There you go. All you gotta do is put like that New Orleans Saints logo on it, right?
There we go.
That's
what
like
I'm talking about.
automatically European right there.
Let's talk for a minute about how the Saints got shafted in the NFC playoff game. Actually, we won't go there.
I've had quite a few conversations about that because one of our
We won't go there. I'm going to cuss.
One of our students is a die-hard Saints fan.
Me too.
And so I heard that it was quite a rough evening in that particular household. So I can imagine. I do feel sorry for you guys that are Saints fans. I couldn't care less. But
I'm still boycotting the NFL.
Good for you.
America.
Hey, you should go with the old AAFL or whatever it is.
I should.
Hey, Birmingham's undefeated.
2-0. What up, Trent?
I got the email to come try out for that team.
Are you kidding?
What?
If that tells y'all how bad they really are.
Wow.
Actually, what that tells me is we have a celeb on the
We
podcast.
do. Celeb.
Starting day one, we didn't even have to call for an interview.
Instant millionaires.
Already here. All right. So yeah, rock on Birmingham Iron. So yeah, there we go. We'll talk about all things football, all things culture, all things fashion. Yeah, fashion. That's in there. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. Won't be too serious. However, there is going to be a serious side of it, right? So the whole purpose of this podcast, it's going to be geared for students. We're all in student ministry in some form or fashion, or have been in the past, and obviously we all have a heart for students, and just one, sharing the gospel with students, but then two, allowing students to see that being able to live the gospel is just as important as knowing all the right answers about the gospel. So hopefully just a little bit of what we say will kind of help with that, help students with that.
So what's up with this name for the podcast?
Fluent Grace, is that the name you're referencing?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. And I think actually you were the one that came up with it.
So tell me what it means.
I don't know what it means. I just put it on the logo because it looked cool.
I don't remember what it means. Colin, what's it mean?
Well, I'll dive into the first word. Y'all dive into the second word. The first word, according to Webster's dictionary, is fluent means able to express oneself easily and articulately. So we want to be
Shout
able
out,
to
Webster.
express ourselves easily in the word grace. So I'm going to let y'all dive into the word grace.
Go for it, Timothy.
That was brilliant, Colin. Well done. I love the fact that you broke out the Webster's dictionary.
We are unofficially sponsored by Webster Merriam Dictionary.
Hey, by the way, Merriam-Webster, if you want to physically sponsor us, we would take that as well. You know, heck, I don't even know if you're still alive. You're probably dead by now. But anyway, so yeah, fluent. Excellent explanation of what that is. Throw the grace on the end of it. Basically, what we're wanting to communicate there is that we want to be able to easily and competently articulate this idea of grace, not only in word but in action. So we want it to be something that is a part of how we live. Us, as in Tim, Tyler, and Colin, but also us as in students, us as in children, us as in parents, whatever we are, whoever we are, whatever our occupation or role in life, stage of life right now is, we all have the responsibility as followers of Christ to live grace, to speak grace, to live the gospel. And that's something that students can do just as well as adults. I don't want students to ever get the idea that just because they're not as old as other folks may be, that they can't live the gospel, because that's incorrect. They most certainly can. We want to help give you guys as students the tools to be able to do that, and at the same time help you see that living the gospel is not just some boring church thing. It's actually a lot of fun. It's fulfilling, and if we're going to be followers of Christ, it's what we're called to do. It's what we have a responsibility to do.
So in the Cliff Notes version, we are doing a podcast on how to speak the gospel into the everyday, ordinary stuff of life.
Boom.
Got it.
Nailed it. That's it. So that's what we're doing. That's what the podcast is all about. So okay. Anyway, we're gonna pass on by that. My 4-year-old's in the room with us as well. So if you hear any commentary, that's what it
potty
is.
Mouth.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. So that's a little bit about us. That's Fluent Grace. That's the podcast. Again, we're excited to do this. Hope you are able to view the social media pages. Like I said, we got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We've got an email address, Fluent Grapes. Fluent Grace.
Grapes. You will not reach us at Fluent Grapes. That's a fruit orchard in some weird place in the country.
Right. We're professionals, right? Isn't that what we said at the beginning, that we knew what we were doing?
What's that about not taking yourselves too seriously?
Hey, there we go. All right, here we go. Fluent Grace Podcast at gmail.com. What we would love to do throughout this podcast is just to answer you guys' questions. So if you have questions about how to live the gospel, how to follow Jesus, if you have questions about Scripture, if you have questions about just daily life kind of things, like how do I live with my parents, or how do I treat my siblings well, or what do I do about lust, how do I live with that and have victory over that temptation, whatever it may be, if you have questions about it, shoot us a question either at the email address or on the Facebook, Twitter pages, and we would love to get to that and discuss it as soon as possible. So that's us. We're excited about podcast 1. Looking forward to number 2 coming out next week. Be sure you hit up the old iTunes, Spotify to subscribe, and we will talk to you later. Gooses.
Latest.